gentlemen, and welcome to the 2023 Kentucky General Election, brought to you by your friends at United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky, here on your home for High Country, 93.5 WAIN. Good evening and happy Tuesday. Austin Armstrong tag alongside John Shelley, here to bring you the 2023 Kentucky General Election coverage here on 93.5 WAIN. You are listening to us live here on 93.5 FM. You can also listen to us live on our website. That's 935wain.com. Or if you need an audio visual cue, you can look at us, our beautiful faces and our beautiful heads, here on our YouTube page. That's WAIN Radio on YouTube. Austin Armstrong and John Shelley bring you the 2023 Kentucky General Election coverage here on 93.5 WAIN. Bringing in John Shelley now. John, how are you this evening, I guess?
Appreciate it, Austin, and we're here to cover the election. I know the people of Adair and surrounding counties, they like to know what's going on, and especially local results. But we'll be bringing you both local and statewide numbers. Right now, Austin, only 5% of the vote is in, and so really, really early in the game. And of course, obviously, most of those are Eastern time zone precincts, and they are mostly partial. So I'm looking at the statewide map. It looks like about 12 counties that are partial. There are 5 counties that are complete at this time, and so but we'd like to thank United Citizens Bank for sponsoring the program tonight. And they were founded on solid banking principles of providing products and services needed by the people and businesses in our communities, and providing their customers with good old-fashioned hometown customer service. Be sure to check out their website, ucbsky.com, or stop by any of their locations in Adair, Green, Campbellsville, or Russell Springs. And also, let's first go over the ballot.
Yeah.
Just a very simple ballot this year in the general election. And basically, it's just a waiting game as we're waiting on numbers. We have a Jared at the downtown going to relay some numbers. We've also got technology now, which allows us to kind of connect to what the state's reporting. But of course, the big race that I think everybody's interested in is the governor race and lieutenant governor race. The incumbent Andy Beshear with Jacqueline Coleman and his lieutenant governor, and running against him, Daniel Cameron and his Lieutenant Governor Robbie Mills. So that's the big election, and we got some early numbers on that election just to pass on here to our listeners. Again, only 5% of the vote is in, but right now Beshear has received 105,312 votes. Daniel Cameron 69,413, and I would like to announce that Fayette is partially in, and so I think probably the Democrats feel like they succeed in Fayette County, and so partial county is in for some of the precincts are in Fayette County. So and then Secretary of State incumbent Michael Adams, he's on the Republican side, and he's facing Charles Buddy Wheatley from the Democratic side. And right now on that one, it's a neck and neck battle here. Michael Adams from the Republican side currently leads. Again, 5% of the votes in, so really, really early in the game. 93,307, 78,303. So about 15,000 difference there with 5% in. The Attorney General, which of course Daniel Cameron is now seeking the governorship. Yeah. So in that race from the Republican side, Russell Coleman versus from the Democratic side, Pamela Stevenson. So Right now, that one's neck and neck. Pamela Stevenson from the Democratic side, 86,710. Russell Coleman, 84,949. So with 5% reporting. Auditor of Public Accounts, Allison Ball. She's running on the Republican side versus Kim Reeder from the Democratic side. And right now, Allison Ball is leading with 5% of the vote in, 92,051 votes to 78,707 votes in that race. State Treasurer race from the Republican side, Mark Metcalf running against the Democratic side, Michael Bowman. And right now, that one is virtually 50% each.
Wow.
Separated by, looks like about 1,000 votes is Michael Bowman, 85,752. Mark Metcalf, 84,367. Again, we want to remind people, we're really, really early in the game.
Yeah.
Commissioner of Agriculture, Jonathan Shell from the Republican side running against Sierra Enlow from the Democratic side. And right now, that's a tight race as well. Jonathan Shell, 87,010 votes. Sierra Enlow, 83,081 votes. So that's kind of where we are right now, Austin.
Yeah, and like we said, we want to refer back to it again. Only around 5% of the votes have been casted, so there's still plenty of the night left. Polls have only closed just 20 minutes ago for us here in Adair County and people in this time zone. Across the line on the other side of the time zone in Kentucky, they're about an hour and 20. So getting numbers from the northern side of the state, but again, incomplete numbers, lots of incompletes happening here, even though some of the races not so close, some of the races very close, could change completely tonight. We have plenty of time left here in the election coverage, and we will be along with you each and every second of it. And again, a huge thank you going out to United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky for bringing you this general election coverage on 93.5. Be sure to check out their website, ucbsky.com, or stop by any of their convenient locations in Adair County, Greene County, Campbellsville, or Russell Springs. And John, we were talking a little bit before we got on air today. The important part of Kentucky, just like it is in the presidential race, you got to really focus on those counties that have a little bit more to give you. You know what I'm saying? The more votes, obviously. So we're talking about Louisville, so the Jefferson County area, talking about Lafayette towards the Lexington side of the area. You're looking at places like Owensboro, Bowling Green, places like that. They make the difference, even though, and we've seen this in past races where most of the state, a good portion of the state looks red, those 3, 4, or 5 counties end up being blue, and that is all that they need. And that's kind of the thing with this. It kind of leaves you a little bit of a head scratcher in a sense, because you look at it and say, well, 80% red, only this little percent blue, but those blues, those counties, they just have more numbers, and those numbers really matter. So
exactly, and you got to look at the demographics. You got to look at where both these candidates are going to be strong as far as where they're from. And then of course the southern part of the state, south central and southern, usually heavy red for the Republican side, and then you've got of course your two largest counties of Fayette and Jefferson, of course, with the largest number of voters and more registered Democrats in those counties. Doesn't mean they're going to vote that way, but more registered Democrats. We do not have any numbers for Adair County yet. I just clicked on the site, so we got zeros right now. So those are trickling in, and like I said, we've got somebody there too to if we can get those numbers quicker. So we're all about tonight, getting the info quick. That's what people are interested in, because they'll all be official at some point. So we're looking for speed. But right now, let's read the big one for you. And again, right now we got 6.94%. So another 2% on top of the 7%. Again, that's very, very small. But Bashir, 143,302. Daniel Cameron, 97,521. So just using some mental math right now, it's about 46,000 difference there with only 7% reporting. So it's kind of where we are. Austin, just an interesting note, if our listeners are wondering, there's basically 3.5 million registered voters in the state of Kentucky, and right now only 241,000 have actually been cast and counted. So
we got a long way to go, long night. Could be a short night, actually. Just depends how the numbers fall. And again, it's one of those things that it looks like we are receiving numbers now from Jared. So we'll have those coming up for you here in a little bit. Looks like he has some of the absentee mail-in and some of those. So we'll have those for you coming up here soon. So how about we take a quick break? When we come back, we'll have some absentee numbers for you locally here in Adair County. You're listening to the 2023 Kentucky General Election coverage brought to you by your friends, United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky, here on High Country 93.5 WAIN.
This is Nick Fudge with United Citizens Bank. Whether it's your first loan or you've been banking for years, we are ready to be your bank. At UCB, we like to keep banking simple. We probably aren't the best at flashy ad campaigns or sales pitches, but we will always give you our best and stand behind our word. Stop by and see me at our Jamestown Street office or any of us at our other convenient locations. We want to be your bank, United Citizens Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Celebrating a birthday or anniversary? WAIN wants to hear from you. Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by Betty's OK Country Cooking. Weekday mornings at around 7:20 on McKinney in the morning. Call or text anytime. 270-384-2134. Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by Betty's OK Country Cooking at 2339 Campbellsville Road, Columbia.
So on behalf of myself and all the Opry members of past and present and future, Luke Combs, you are now officially the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry.
Being inducted into the Opry by Joe Diffie and Vince Gill, two artists I grew up listening to, was one of the highlights of my life. Every time I'm on the Opry, I share the stage with my heroes and play the music that I love. There's nothing else like it, whether you're behind that microphone or out in the crowd. On any given night, you could see a once-in-a-lifetime performance or watch an artist get a surprise invitation to join the greatest family in country music. Even if you've seen the Opry once, you haven't seen it all. It's a blast, not just for fans, but for artists too.
Be listening to Hot Country 93.5 during the McKinney in the Morning Show for Opry Brain Teaser Clues and your chance to win tickets to the Opry. Brought to you by J&S Auto Sales.
I'm Luke Combs, and I'll see you soon at the Opry, the show that made country music famous.
Stress may feel like a constant, and one that may lead to heart disease and stroke. But what if we focus on what we can control and turn those stressful minutes into our me time? Sometimes just taking a deep breath can make a difference. Or going on a short walk, maybe even taking a nap to recharge. Managing your stress means managing your health, so it's important to take back your moments. This is your me time. Own it. Learn more about reducing stress at heart.org/stress.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Kentucky. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and the Kentucky High School Athletic Directors Association.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Kentucky high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and the Kentucky High School Athletic Directors Association.
Welcome back to 93.5 WAIN, your home for the coverage of the 2023 Kentucky general election, brought to you by your friends at United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky. UCB was founded on solid banking principles of providing the products and services needed by the people and the businesses in our communities. Be sure to check out their website, ucbsky.com, or you can stop by any of their convenient locations in Adair County, Greene County, Campbellsville, or Russell Springs. Again, a huge thank you going out to United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky for bringing you the 2023 Kentucky general election covers here on Hot Country 93.5 WAIN. Austin Armstrong alongside John Shelley, the man himself, as we bring you the updated coverage. We have had some local numbers make their way through our text lines, and we have also found some more numbers throughout the statewide. John, who wants to go first, statewide or local?
Go ahead, you do local.
All righty, so we will touch up on some local numbers, and again, a huge thank you going out to Jared back at the Annex building for us. And for absentee mail-in votes, for Daniel Cameron, 75, Andy Bashir, 88. For the Secretary of State, Michael Adams, 109, Charles Buddy Wheatley, 52. Attorney General Russell Coleman, 104, Pamela Stevenson, 57. Auditor of Public Accounts, Allison Ball, 113, Kimberly Kim Reeder, 48. State Treasurer Mark Metcalf, 102, Michael Bowman, 57. And Commissioner of Agriculture, Jonathan Schell, 115, Sierra Enlow, 46. And again, that is absentee mail-in votes for Adair County. For early voting, Daniel Cameron, 464 votes. Andy Bashir, 312 votes. Secretary of State Michael Adams, 548 votes. Charles Buddy Wheatley, 196 votes. Attorney General Russell Coleman, 528 votes. Pamela Stevenson, 213 votes. Auditor Public Accounts Allison Ball, 561 votes. Kimberly Reeder, 185 votes. State Treasurer Mark Metcalf receiving 519 votes. Michael Bowman receiving 215 votes. Commissioner of Agriculture Jonathan Schell, 537 votes, and Sierra Enlow, 203 votes. And again, that is early voting for Adair County. So leading off, it looks like Daniel Cameron is leading Adair County right now between early voting and absentee voting. That is actually a really close one. Probably at least 30 votes or less is the difference. For Secretary of State, it looks like Michael Adams is leading for the absentee and mail-in and early voting for Adair County. Attorney General, looks like that one is a landslide right now going towards Russell Coleman. The Auditor of Public Accounts is leaning towards Allison Ball. State Treasurer right now leaning towards the direction of Mark Metcalf, and Commissioner of Agriculture leaning towards Jonathan Schell. And again, these are just absentee, mail-in, and early voting here for Adair County. So have plenty of precincts, 16 precincts actually going to make their way our direction. We have 16, right? Okay, making sure. You looked at me for a second.
16 precincts, that's correct.
So 16 precincts, just wanted to make sure that we'll have all those coming up here soon. Again, a huge thank you going out to Jared back at the Annex building for providing us those local numbers. John, you have a little bit more statewide numbers, and I'll kind of let you take it away with those.
We're at 8% now, 8% reporting. Bashir, 158,812 votes compared to Cameron, 117,075 votes. That's 58% to 42 with only 8% reporting. Russell Coleman, 142,844 votes to Pam Stevenson, 128,073 votes. That's 53% to 47 in that race. Secretary of State Michael Adams, 154,505. Buddy Wheatley, 116,268. That's 57% to 43% with Adams leading that one. Auditor of Public Accounts, 153,779 for Allison Ball compared to Kim Reeder, 115,662. That's a difference of 57% to 43%. Again, way early in state. Mark Metcalf, 148 votes compared to Michael Bowman, 126,672. That's 53% to 47 in that one. Commissioner of Agriculture, Jonathan Schell, 146,145. And
Who takes care of his too?
122 to 40.
And also try Swiffer Sweep.
Looks like Austin. I'm going to share some interesting result, and this county is final. Taylor County would be very similar to just a sample to this area, South Central Kentucky. 4,641 votes. That to see how that's going to compare later on to maybe even our county. Let's look and see if any more statewide. No, pretty much 8% is where we are right now, Austin. So really early in the game. I would like to say that part of Fayette County's already reported. None of Jefferson yet has reported. So that's kind of where we are right now, Austin, early in the game.
Yeah, very early in the game, no doubt about it. And like we said, it's going to be a long night. Not a long night, but it takes a while for things to roll in. Probably about here in the next 10 to 15 minutes, you're really going to see things start rolling in. Things will pick up. And we've had this before where sometimes you can get, about halfway through everything and it can already be determined who the winner is. So we'll see how the night plays out. Still plenty of the night to go, and we'll be here along with it every step of the way. Again, a huge thank you going out to United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky for bringing you the 2023 general election coverage here on 93.5 WAIN. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more coverage for you.
This is Nick Fudge with United Citizens Bank. Whether it's your first loan or you've been banking for years, we are ready to be your bank. At UCB, we like to keep banking simple. We probably aren't the best at flashy ad campaigns or sales pitches, but we will always give you our best and stand behind our word. Stop by and see me at our Jamestown Street office or any of us at our other convenient locations. We want to be your bank, United Citizens Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
WAIN regularly conducts contests and giveaways on air. Please be advised of the following rules. No purchase necessary. Contests are open to all persons except for broadcast. Radio stations, Polk employees and their immediate families, then sponsors, prize providers or advertisers and their respective immediate families are not eligible to win. Participants can only win one contest prize per person every 30 days. The prize is valued at over $150. Only one prize per household every 90 days. Winners must appear in person with proper positive legal identification. Claim any prize Monday through Friday, excluding holidays within 30 days, so the prize will be forfeited. Prizes will not be mailed or delivered. Any winner under the age of 18 must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. No trade or cash equivalent will be awarded for any contest prize. Any person or persons found to be in violation of these contest rules before, during, or after the respective contest or giveaway will be disqualified and will not be eligible for future contests and giveaways.
Excuse me, do you know how to get to Maine and Maple?
Do you have these in a 7.5?
How's that cooked? Can I get that shipped overnight?
Is it a direct flight?
Should this still warranty last?
What's your suit today? How do you change the ringtone?
Does it come in blue?
Does this bus stop at Elm Street?
We ask questions everywhere in life.
Is it raining out?
What time's the meeting? How much does this cost? Does it have four-wheel drive?
Does it have four-wheel drive?
Account balance.
Yes, somehow when we get to the
Any questions?
No.
We clam up. Ask questions.
What is this test for?
Are there any side effects?
When do I get my results?
Questions lead to better healthcare. Go to ahrq.gov for a list of 10 questions everyone should know. Questions are the answer. Public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
In sports, 5 games were featured in hockey action last night.
Every year, millions of people rely on portable generators when they lose access to electricity. But some of them don't understand that a portable generator's carbon monoxide emissions can kill if their generators are used indoors. So we're here to clear the air. Always take your generator outside, away from windows and doors. When you take it outside, you distance yourself from the dangers of carbon monoxide. For more safety tips, visit takeyourgeneratoroutside.com.
We don't play at weather like some. Dependable, up-to-date weather forecasts with current temperatures from trained weatherology meteorologists. We've got you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WAIN.
55 overnight under partly cloudy skies, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 81 tomorrow, 62 tomorrow night, slight chance for scattered showers. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 61.
Trickle in here. I would say approximately 20% of the precincts are in. That's an estimate. As I'm looking at the map of Kentucky, we've got, let's see here. Now, that'd be a few more than 20%. So we're looking at about 40% of the precincts reporting right now. Some of your bigger counties are not in, so that's gonna really weigh on the number of votes. So it's skewed a little bit.
Oh yeah.
As right now, Andy Bashir 224,416 to Cameron's 166,111. That's 57% to 43% right now. Again, these are not anywhere near official.
Yeah.
That's about 1,600 precincts out of 3,600. So not quite half.
And it looks like we do have some information. Yep, we have some numbers from the precinct in Milltown. So if you'd like, I can knock those out real quick. So for the precinct in Milltown for Adair County, Daniel Cameron receiving 251 votes, it looks like. Andy Bashir receiving only 66 votes. Secretary of State Michael Adams receiving a total of 271 votes in the Milltown precinct. Charles Wheatley receiving 35. Russell Coleman for the Attorney General receiving 273 votes. Pamela Stevenson receiving 33 votes. Auditor of Public Accounts Allison Ball receiving 272 votes. Kimberly Reeder receiving 34 votes. State Treasurer Mark Metcalf receiving 271 votes, and Michael Bowman receiving 32 votes. Commissioner of Agriculture Jonathan Schell receiving 274 votes, and Sierra Enlow receiving 33 votes, and that is the precinct for Milltown. And as I speak about that, Ewing's Peloton comes in as well. It looks like for precinct of Ewing's Peloton. Am I saying that right, John? Close enough?
Yes.
All right. For Daniel Cameron receiving 195 votes, Andy Bashir receiving 63 votes. Michael Adams for the Secretary of State receiving 219 votes. Charles Wheatley receiving 32 votes. Attorney General Russell Coleman receiving 216 votes. Pamela Stevenson receiving 31 votes. Auditor of Public Accounts Allison Ball receiving 219 votes. Kimberly Reeder receiving 27 votes. State Treasurer Mark Metcalf receiving 215 votes. Michael Bowman receiving 30 votes. Commissioner of Agriculture Jonathan Schell receiving 224 votes, and Sierra Enlow receiving just 23 votes in the Ewing's Peloton precinct. And it looks like we have Gradyville coming in as well. For the Gradyville precinct, Daniel Cameron going to be receiving 176 votes. Andy Bashir going to be receiving 37 votes. Again, this is out of the precincts in Gradyville. Secretary of State Michael Adams receiving 184. Charles Buddy Wheatley receiving 28. Attorney General Russell Coleman receiving 193. Pamela Stevenson receiving 19. Auditor of Public Accounts Allison Ball receiving 195. Kimberly Kim Reeder receiving 19 votes. For the state treasurer, Mark Metcalf receiving 190 votes. Michael Bowman receiving 22 votes. Commissioner of Agriculture, Jonathan Schell receiving 194 votes. And Sierra Enlow receiving 20 votes. And that is all we have right now, but that is 3 precincts, absentee mail-ins, and early voting that we do have. Right now, looks like the numbers are leaning more towards Daniel Cameron for Adair County right now. Looks like for the Secretary of State, Michael Adams is the direction that Adair County is leading. For the Attorney General, looks like that one is leaning towards Russell Coleman. Auditor of Public Accounts is leaning towards Allison Ball. State Treasurer leaning more towards Mark Metcalf. Commissioner of Agriculture leading more towards Jonathan Schell. And that is the direction of the votes for absentee mail-in, early voting, and the 3 precincts, including Milltown, Ewens, Pellington, and Gradyville as well. So we're going to be waiting for more of those precincts to come in. That is 3 of 16 precincts for Adair County. John, any update on the Kentucky side? We had any increase by chance?
Yeah, and we'll kind of keep that pattern going tonight. We'll let Austin kind of take care of the local, and I'll talk a little statewide numbers here. Almost half the precincts reporting, 1,709 out of 3,616, so a little less than half. Instead of reading the thousands of votes, it might be more clear if I just read the percentages. Andy Bashir has received 56% of the vote. Daniel Cameron, 44%. Russell Coleman for Attorney General received 54%. To Pamela Stevenson, 46%. Michael Adams for Secretary of State, 58% to 42% for Secretary of State. Allison Ball, she leads Kim Reeder, 58% to 42%. Mark Metcalf, 54% to Michael Bowman, 46% for State Treasurer. Commissioner of Agriculture, Jonathan Schell, 55% to Sierra Enlow, 45%. And that's really all we got. So it looks like, Austin, statewide right now, the Republicans are winning every race. And again, we're less than half. We're around 45% of precincts reporting every race except the governor's race. So it looks like right now Bashir with a 53,000 vote lead on Daniel Cameron right now, with 1,709 precincts reporting out of 3,616.
So statewide and local, we have plenty to go, no doubt about it. So still plenty of time left in the election coverage, and still plenty left to happen here tonight. We'll be alongside you the entire time for the 2023 Kentucky General Election, brought to you by your wonderful folks at United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky. We'll be back here on your home for the 2023 General Election coverage, 93.5 WAIN.
This is Matt Lloyd with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me, I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
So on behalf of myself and all the Opry members of past and present and future, Luke Combs, you are now officially the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry.
Being inducted into the Opry by Joe Diffie and Vince Gill, two artists I grew up listening to, was one of the highlights of my life. Every time I'm on the Opry, I share the stage with my heroes and play the music that I love. There's nothing else like it, whether you're behind that microphone or out in the crowd. On any given night, you could see a once-in-a-lifetime performance or watch an artist get a surprise invitation to join the greatest family in country music. Even if you've seen the Opry once, you haven't seen it all. It's a blast, not just for fans, but for artists too.
You're listening to Hot Country 93.5 during the McKinney in the Morning Show for Opry Rain T-shirt clues and your chance to win tickets to the Opry. Brought to you by J&S Auto Sales.
I'm Luke Combs, and I'll see you soon at the Opry, the show that made country music famous.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Kentucky. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and the Kentucky High School Athletic Directors Association.
Accurate, up-to-date weather forecasts with current temperatures from trained weatherology meteorologists. We've got you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, only on WAIN.
55 overnight under partly cloudy skies, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 81 tomorrow, 62 tomorrow night, slight chance for scattered showers. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 61.
Welcome back to 93.5 WAIN, your home for the 2023 Kentucky General Election, brought to you by your wonderful folks at United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky. Be sure to check out their website, ucbsky.com, or stop by any one of their convenient locations in Adair County, Greene County, Campbellsville, or Russell Springs. Austin Armstrong alongside John Shelley as we bring you the latest update for the 2023 Kentucky General Election. Do have some local numbers, and we do want to say a huge thank you going out to Sharon Burden and the Community Voice for providing this set of numbers as well. So without further ado, if I can get my phone to stop rotating around, we will get on to the next precinct for Adair County. That is going to involve the Ozark precinct for Adair County. Daniel Cameron receiving 178 votes. Andy Bashir receiving 53 votes for the Secretary of State. Michael Adams receiving 192 votes. Charles Wheatley receiving 33 votes. Attorney General Russell Coleman receiving 186 votes. Pamela Stevenson receiving 36 votes. Auditor of Public Accounts Allison Ball receiving 190 votes. Kimberly Reeder receiving 34 votes. State Treasurer Mark Metcalf receiving 183 votes. Michael Bowman receiving 39 votes. Commissioner of Agriculture Jonathan Schell receiving 189 votes. Sierra Enlow receiving 31 votes. That is for the precinct of Ozark. For the Little Cake precinct, Governor of Kentucky and Lieutenant Governor Daniel Cameron receiving 159 votes. Andy Bashir receiving 47 votes. Secretary of State Michael Adams receiving 185 votes. Charles Wheatley receiving 14 votes. Attorney General Russell Coleman receiving 185 votes. Pamela Stevenson receiving 14 votes. Auditor of Public Accounts Allison Ball receiving 189 votes. Kimberly Reeder receiving 11 votes. State Treasurer Mark Metcalf receiving 188 votes. Michael Bowman receiving 11 votes. Commissioner Commissioner of Agriculture, Jonathan Shell, receiving 188 votes. Sierra Enlow receiving 12 votes for the Little Cake Precinct. And the last one I have right now is West Columbia Precinct. Daniel Cameron for the government race, receiving 147 votes. Andy Bashir receiving 82 votes. For the Secretary of State race, Michael Adams receiving 172 votes. Charles Wheatley receiving 50 votes, I do believe. Attorney General race, Russell Coleman receiving 178 votes. Pamela Stevenson receiving 45 votes. Auditor of Public Accounts, Allison Ball receiving 181 votes. Kimberly Reeder receiving 42 votes. State Treasurer Mark Metcalf leading with 158 votes. Michael Bowman receiving 54 votes. Commissioner of Agriculture Jonathan Shell receiving 172 votes. Sierra Enlow receiving 42 votes. And that is the latest up-to-date information that we do have. Actually, I'm lying to you. It looks like we have even more. Like we said, John, when they come in strong and they don't stop. So following up with the West Columbia is South Columbia 2. Daniel Cameron receiving 164 votes. Andy Bashir receiving 133 votes. Secretary of State race, Michael Adams receiving 204 votes. Charles Wheatley receiving 86 votes. Attorney General race, Russell Coleman receiving 207 votes. Pamela Stevenson receiving 86 votes. Auditor of Public Accounts, Allison Ball receiving 218 votes. Kimberly Kim Reeder receiving 74 votes. State Treasurer race, Mark Metcalf receiving 197 votes. Michael Bowman receiving 91 votes. Commissioner of Agriculture, Jonathan Shell, Commissioner of Agriculture race, Jonathan Shell receiving 217 votes, and Sierra J. Enlow receiving 74 votes, and that is for the South Columbia Precinct, South Columbia 2 Precinct, and for the Glens Fork Precinct. Governor race, Daniel Cameron's receiving 212 votes. Andy Bashir receiving 97 votes. For the Secretary of State race, Michael Adams receiving 243. Charles Wheatley receiving 57. Attorney General race, Russell Coleman receiving 242. Pamela Stevenson receiving 58. Auditor of Public Accounts race, Allison Ball receiving 239. Kimberly Reeder receiving 59. State Treasurer race, Mark Metcalf receiving 228. Michael Bowman receiving 68. Commissioner of Agricultural race, Jonathan Shell receiving 231, and Sierra Enlow receiving 67, and that is the precinct of Glens Fork. And again, a huge thank you going out to Sharon Burton and the Community Voice for providing that information. John, I'll let you take over. Looks like we have a couple more precincts making their way, but I'll take a quick break, let you hit the state, and let me catch my breath for a little bit.
The governor's race has tightened up a little bit. 54% of the vote currently right now with Bashir. That's 281,614 to Daniel Cameron's 46%, 239,275. So 54 to 46. I want to make an analogy here of kind of some trends that I see. Fayette is partially reported. You would think that would be heavy Democrat. It was 74,000 to 29,000 in favor of Bashir. Now you go to Austin, Jefferson County. Part of the precincts are in, not final, 48,000 to 22,000. So Bashir carries the two larger counties heavy, but in the main body of the race, he is only right now Bashir 40,000 ahead. So here's what you're looking at. South Central Kentucky is basically blank. So you have to feel that Cameron will run strong from the southern part of the state, South Central, which is Adair County. Looks like he's carrying Adair County south. But also an interesting comparison is none of West Kentucky is in, and that's where Andy Bashir's from. So you would think that some of those counties in the far west would go to Andy. So this thing is tightening up for sure. Right now, currently, Bashir 54% of the vote to Cameron's 46% of the vote, and right now that's 2,049 precincts reporting out of a total of 3,616. So about 62% of the precincts reporting, something like that. It's close. And the Republicans are carrying the other races statewide, it looks like pretty handily. Russell Coleman, 56% to Pamela Stevenson at 44%. That's for Attorney General. Secretary of State, Michael Adams, 60% of the vote. He's the Republican to Buddy Wheatley, who's a Democrat, 40%. 60% to 40%. Auditor of Public Accounts, Allison Ball, leads Kim Reeder, 60% to 40%. Again, this is about 60% of the precincts reporting. State Treasurer, Mark Metcalf, 56% to Mike Bowman, 44%. Commissioner of Agriculture, John Shell, he's increasing his lead, 58% to Sierra Enloe's 42%. So that's kind of the way it is. Very unofficial as this governor's race, we saw it 56 to 44%, now has swung to 54-46 in favor of Andy Beshear, the incumbent, with about 2,049 of 3,616 precincts reporting. So 33 counties are finished, completely tallied. Most of those are in the Eastern time zone. A few are starting to trickle in now in South Central Kentucky, as Austin and I, we'll have full details for you. We'll stay here till it's official here on 93.5 WAIN.
This is Nick Fudge with United Citizens Bank. Whether it's your first loan or you've been banking for years, we are ready to be your bank. At UCB, we like to keep banking simple. We probably aren't the best at flashy ad campaigns or sales pitches, but we will always give you our best and stand behind our word. Stop by and see me at our Jamestown Street office or any of us at our other convenient locations. We want to be your bank, United Citizens Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
WAIN regularly conducts contests and giveaways on air. Please be advised of the following rules. No purchase necessary. Contests are open to all persons except for broadcasting and their affiliated radio stations, or employees and their immediate families. And sponsors, prize providers, or advertisers and their respective immediate families are not eligible to win. Participants can only win one contest prize per person every 30 days. The prize is valued at over $150. Only one prize per household every 90 days. Winners must appear in person with proper positive legal identification. Claim any prize Monday through Friday, excluding holidays, within 30 days, so the prize will be forfeited. Prizes will not be mailed or delivered. Any winner under the age of 18 must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. No trade or cash equivalent will be awarded for any contest prize. Any person or persons found to be in violation of these contest rules before, during, or after the respective contest or giveaway will be disqualified and will not be eligible for future contests and giveaways.
I'm a veteran. My victory was admitting I had PTSD and getting help.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I no longer see it as a weakness, but as a sign of strength. I call it post-traumatic growth.
DAV provides a lifetime of support, helping veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans so they can reach victories great and small.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
I'm a veteran. When I got out, I felt like nowhere was safe. My victory was finding the help I needed.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
Thanks to DAV, now I feel like I'm human again.
Help support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
This is Matt Lloyd with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Celebrating a birthday or anniversary? WAIN wants to hear from you. Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by Betty's OK Country Cooking. Weekday mornings at around 7:20 on McKinney in the Morning. Call or text anytime. 270-384-2134. Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by Betty's OK Country Cooking at 2339 Campbellsville Road, Columbia.
Rich is just a really, really, really good guy. The term good egg isn't enough to describe him. He's also certified organic and free range. Rich puts the cap back on everything. The toothpaste, the olive oil, the shampoo, everything. He lets his 10-year-old nephew beat him at virtual tennis, even though he can straight up slay his 10-year-old nephew in virtual tennis. When the toilet paper is running low, Rich replaces the roll on the actual holder, not just on the back of the toilet. Rich is texting and driving. Rich, no. What are you doing, Rich? I was just telling everyone how great you are. Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
WAIN regularly conducts contests and giveaways on air. Please be advised of the following rules. No purchase necessary. Contests are open to all persons except for broadcasting and their affiliated radio stations, corp employees and their immediate families, and sponsors, prize providers, or advertisers and their respective immediate families are not eligible to win. Participants can only win one contest prize per person every 30 days. The prize is valued at over $150. Only one prize per household every 90 days. Winners must appear in person with proper positive legal identification. Claim any prize Monday through Friday, excluding holidays within 30 days, so the prize will be forfeited. Prizes will not be mailed or delivered. Any winner under the age of 18 must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. No trade or cash equivalent will be awarded for any contest prize. Any person or persons found to be in violation of these contest rules before, during, or after the respective contest or giveaway will be disqualified and will not be eligible for future contests and giveaways.
I am Russell Wilson. Each year, millions of domestic violence victims stay in abusive situations because they fear for the safety of their pet. Today, less than 10% of domestic violence shelters allow pets. That's why the Banfield Foundation supports programs that help people and pets find safety together. Because when we help pets, we help people too. To learn more and get involved, visit banfieldfoundation.org/safertogether.
Precise, up-to-the-minute weather forecasts with current temperatures by trained weatherology meteorologists. That's what you get 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WAIN.
55 overnight under partly cloudy skies, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 81 tomorrow, 62 tomorrow night, slight chance for scattered showers. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 60.
Welcome back to 93.5 WAIN, your home for the 2023 Kentucky General Election coverage, brought to you by your friends at United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky. Be sure to check out their website, ucbsky.com, or stop by any of their locations in Adair County, Greene County, Campbellsville, or Russell Springs. United Citizens Bank bringing you the 2023 Kentucky General Election coverage here on your home for Hot Country 93.5. Austin Armstrong joined alongside John Shelley. We have found out there's been a little bit of an issue issue at the Adair County Annex building. So we're going to hold off on any more numbers until they get that sorted out. We'll have some new printouts with some updated numbers. But the good thing is that it's 2023. There's plenty of technology. That technology involves the Kentucky State website, which has a very interactive map for myself and John to look at. And I'll let John kind of touch up on that and go over some of the statewide numbers.
2,260 precincts reported out of a total 3,616. Still really early, and the governor's race is tightening up. The last report was 54% of the vote for Beshear to 46 for Cameron. Now it's 53 to 47. 318,569 votes for Andy Beshear, the incumbent, compared to Daniel Cameron, 279,360. So less than 40,000 is the margin. Most of your central time zones have not reported to this site that we're looking at. Also west, there's a few counties in eastern Kentucky that also have not reported. In the Attorney General's race, Russell Coleman holds a 57% to 43% lead on Pam Stevenson. In the Secretary of State race, Michael Adams holds a 61% to 39% lead on Charles Buddy Wheatley. In the Auditor of Public Accounts, Allison Ball, 61% to Kim Reeder, 39%. State Treasurer, Mark Metcalf with 57% of the vote, Michael Bowman, 43%. Commissioner of Agriculture, Jonathan Schell, 59% of the vote, Sierra Enlow, 41%. And basically, Austin, it looks like that the Republicans are carrying every race right now currently, except the governor's race. And Andy Beshear leads that one 53% to 47%. Very, very interesting as we go forward. This thing looks like it's starting to tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're going to end up having a close race. And like we said, local numbers, going to hold off on those. Had a little bit of a mishap. I'll give you a little bit of an update. And again, a huge thank you going out to Sharon Burton and the Community Voice. They are providing some of the information from the Annex building. An update from them saying that they had a glitch in the system. There are 4 precincts that are consolidated. If you vote, there were 2 precincts vote on the same machine. They did not have the correct printout, so they are currently waiting to get the correct printout. So once we have that for local numbers, we'll give that all. And then, of course, we will stay along with you until this race is over. But as John said, throughout the state, Republican really winning that ballot, except for in that governor and lieutenant governor race, as Andy Beshear is still holding the lead in that. And there's still plenty to come to.
Yeah, Austin, looking at the map here, you would think that Daniel Cameron would carry some of these south central Kentucky counties which have not reported. Hart, Greene, Adair, of course, Metcalf, Barron, Allen, Warren. Warren is one that could go either way. I think there's more Democratic registered voters there, but again, that doesn't mean it will swing Democrat. WAIN is not reported. Russell County will probably go red. But on the flip side, you've got your counties where Beshear has his roots. Your far west counties, Graves, Callaway, Marshall, Livingston, Lyon, Trigg, Christian County, Hopkins County, Caldwell County. None of those counties have reported.
Yeah.
And we mentioned earlier that Beshear won heavily in Jefferson and Fayette, which is your 2 most populated counties. And the lead right now is only 53% to 47%. So this thing could get really interesting as looks like a little bit over half of the precincts reporting.
So it looks like we're going to have a tight race tonight. And, of course, the coverage of the 2023 Kentucky general election brought to you by our wonderful folks at United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky. So, again, a huge thank you going out to UCB for sponsoring sponsoring our election coverage. We will get you some more updated local numbers a little bit later when they get everything caught up there. For the local side of things, though, it looks like the Republicans are pretty much winning the entire side. Daniel Cameron looks like he was winning the last time that we checked, winning pretty heavily against Andy Beshear here locally in Adair County. Statewide, not the case, but it's also not a large margin. And the last time that Governor Beshear ended up having an election turned out basically the same thing. It was against Matt Bevins back in 2019, and it was only a win of 5,000 votes, which was one of the closest ones in state history. So I think we might see about the same thing tonight, and it could, like I said, it could be a long night, but we'll be here with you the entire step of the way.
641,053 votes in. Beshear, 347,244. Daniel Cameron, 293,789. So it's went from 53.47%. Now it's went back Beshear by percent, 54.46. Again, South Central, Southern are not reported. None of West is reported. West Kentucky, Pike has a large number of voters. It is not reported. Some of your smaller Eastern Kentuckys who have not heard from Bourbon County or Jessamine, that's two big counties. Mercer County has not reported. Boyle County, which is Danville, has not reported. So thing is still wide open, and looks like about 54,000 right now is the difference as we go to break.
And actually, before we do go to break, looks like we do have a precinct update. That's going to be the Hurt precinct here in Adair County. They have gotten things straightened out, so they're going to start providing us with some more numbers. So the Hurt precinct for the governor and lieutenant governor race, Daniel Cameron receiving 227 votes. Andy Beshear receiving 125 votes for the Secretary of State race. Michael Adams receiving 282 votes. Charles Wheatley receiving 58 votes. The Attorney General race, Russell Coleman receiving 279 votes. Pamela Stevenson receiving 59 votes. Auditor Public Accounts race, Allison Ball receiving 289 votes. Kimberly Reeder receiving 53 votes. State Treasurer race, Mark Metcalf receiving 270 votes, and Michael Bowman receiving 62 votes. Commissioner of Agriculture race, Jonathan Shell receiving 290 votes, and Sierra Enlow receiving 47 votes, and that is for the precinct of Hurt in Adair County. So those are the latest numbers that we've received from the Annex building. And again, a huge thank you going out to Sharon Burton and the Community Voice for providing us with some of those numbers. We truly do appreciate it. And again, a huge thank you going out to our sponsor of the 2023 Kentucky General Election coverage. That's United Citizens Bank. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more updates for you here on Hot Country 93.5.
This is Nick Fudge with United Citizens Bank. Whether it's your first loan or you've been banking for years, we are ready to be your bank. At UCB, we like to keep banking simple. We probably aren't the best at flashy ad campaigns or sales pitches, but we will always give you our best and stand behind our word. Stop by and see me at our Jamestown Street office or any of us at our other convenient locations. We want to be your bank, United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
So on behalf of myself and all the Opry members of past and present and future, Luke Combs, you are now officially the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry.
Being inducted into the Opry by Joe Diffie and Vince Gill, two artists I grew up listening to, was one of the highlights of my life. Every time I'm on the Opry, I share the stage with my heroes and play the music that I love. There's nothing else like it, whether you're behind that microphone or out in the crowd. On any given night, you could see a once-in-a-lifetime performance or watch an artist get a surprise invitation to join the greatest family in country music. Even if you've seen the Opry once, you haven't seen it all. It's a blast, not just for fans, but for artists too.
You're listening to Hot Country 93.5 during the McKinney in the Morning Show for Opry Brain Teaser Clues and your chance to win tickets to the Opry. Brought to you by J&S Auto Sales.
I'm Luke Combs, and I'll see you soon at the Opry, the show that made country music famous.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call it, but the kids in Kentucky did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
This is Matt Loy with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
We don't play at weather like some. Dependable, up-to-date weather forecasts with current temperatures from trained weatherology meteorologists. We've got you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WAIN.
55 overnight under partly cloudy skies, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 81 tomorrow, 62 tomorrow night, slight chance for scattered showers. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 60.
For the coverage of the 2023 Kentucky General Election, 93.5 WAIN. I'm joined alongside John Shelley. John, been a busy night so far.
Yeah, we got a little bit of an update.
Yeah.
68% of the precincts have reported, and of the total state, there's 3,615 in the state. About 2,488 have reported, so it's about 68% of the precincts are in. The site I'm looking at, the state site, Dare County has not reported to that site yet. Basically, your central time zones, also west, have not reported. And right now, the margin is looks like about 48,000 difference in favor of Andy Beshears. He leads Cameron 378,365 to Dan Cameron's 330,225. That's 53% of the vote to 47% of the vote. And instead of reading the actual tallies in the other races, I'm just going to read percentages. Russell Coleman, the Republican, 57% to Pamela Stevenson's 43%. That's in the Attorney General's race. Secretary of State's race, Michael Adams, 61% to Charles Wheatley, 39%. And the Auditor of Public Accounts, Allison Ball, the Republican, 61% to Kim Reeder, 39%. State Treasurer Mark Metcalf, 57% to Mike Bowman's 43%. And Commissioner of Agriculture Jonathan Shell, 59% to Sierra Enlow, 41%. So, looks like in the state races, the Republicans are carrying all of those current numbers, except the governor's race, where Beshear is leading Cameron 48,000 votes. Again, we're really early, and I did my little bit of a synopsis earlier about Beshear carrying Jefferson County heavily, Austin. 66,000 to 25,000 in Jefferson County. Fayette County, Beshear carries Fayette County 74,000 to 29,000. So those are the two counties you expect him to win by substantial amounts. He did, but he's only leading by, it's about 40,000 votes. votes, and we've got South Central, which you feel like Cameron should hold serve there, and but you're looking at less votes too. You're looking at a lot less number of voters in some of these smaller rural South Central Kentucky counties. Also West Kentucky, which you figure Bashir, where he's from, will hold serve in some of those counties. Again, they're very sparsely populated. So right now, Bashir with looks like a 47,000 vote lead, but still not official.
Yes.
It's not officials. We got a lot to be decided.
Still plenty to go, and kind of like you were referring to, those big counties, the ones with the major votes, obviously those are super important. It's kind of what helped Andy Bashir in the past kind of swing things where he won a lot of those. But it makes you wonder if Daniel Cameron was able to get out into the western part of the state and maybe soak up some votes there in the counties where Andy Bashir's from, and maybe he's able to take those smaller counties that do kind of help propel Andy Bashir across the finish line away from him and more towards the Republican side. It makes you wonder if he's able to win that western part and then clear out all these small counties, that if he'll stand a chance against Bashir and those larger counties in the northern and northeast area.
Just really quickly, I'm looking at Bourbon County has not reported a single precinct. Bourbon's a pretty large county.
Yeah.
Looking at Nicholas County, Bashir won that one by a couple hundred votes. So you would think probably Andy there would be pretty strong in Bourbon.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot up in the air. I'm really surprised that this site is, Austin, as you're getting Adair County's numbers, the state website that I'm looking at right now has no official tallies for Adair County.
So that means we got plenty of numbers to come through for our statewide site to give us a little bit better of a picture, because I think that's really what's going to clear up the whole picture, because as you're saying, the ballot very Republican heavy right now throughout the entire state, except for that governor's race. That is where Andy Bashir and the Democratic Party are leading, but it's completely different for the local numbers here. All the local numbers pointing towards all the Republican parties throughout every single one, and we actually have an update on a couple of them. So the problem before was some of the precincts with the names Columbia. Apparently there were some consolidations and some number mix-ups, so they had to go back. They got rid of those numbers, and we now have the correct numbers for a couple of those precincts, and that includes South Columbia. South Columbia for the governor's race, Daniel Cameron receiving 236 votes, Andy Bashir receiving 115 votes, For the Secretary of State race, Michael Adams receiving 262 votes, Charles Wheatley receiving 75 votes. For the Attorney General race, Russell Coleman receiving 260 votes, Pamela Stevenson receiving 81 votes. Auditor Public Accounts race, Allison Ball receiving 277 votes, Kim Reeder receiving 64 votes. State Treasurer race, Mark Metcalf receiving 258 votes, Michael Bowman receiving 79 votes. Commissioner of Agriculture race, Jonathan Schell receiving 262 votes, and Sierra Enlow receiving 78 votes, and that is for the South Columbia precinct. And again, a huge thank you going out to Sharon Burton and the Community Voice for providing us with these numbers, as we're kind of working in conjunction today, as that basement can be hard to get some text messages out of sometimes, so it looks like Jared was struggling with that, so Sharon has kind of stepped in to help us, so we truly do appreciate it. The South Columbia 2 precinct receiving some numbers from there. A little bit closer of a race in the governor race. For the governor race, Daniel Cameron receiving 170, whereas Andy Bashir's received 125. So that one a little bit closer, still leaning more towards Daniel Cameron, but that's probably the closest precinct that we've had so far, leaning almost towards Andy Bashir, but still short about 50 votes. The Secretary of State race, Michael Adams receiving 208 votes, Charles Wheatley receiving 85 votes. The Attorney General race, Russell Coleman receiving 209 votes, Pamela Stevenson receiving 84 votes. Auditor of Public Accounts race, Allison Ball receiving 208 votes, Kimberly Reeder receiving 84 votes. State Treasurer race, Mark Metcalf receiving 190 votes, Michael Bowman receiving 94 votes. Commissioner of Agriculture race, Jonathan Schell receiving 204 votes, Sierra Enlow receiving 86 votes, and that is is all we have right now for the state of, not for the state of Kentucky, for the county of Adair County, and that was South Columbia Precinct 2. And we will get you more numbers, more local numbers coming up here a little bit as they make their way to us. And again, a huge thank you going out to our sponsor of the 2023 Kentucky General Election. That's United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky. United Citizens Bank was founded on the solid banking principles of providing the products and services needed by the people and businesses in our communities. Be sure to check out their website, ucbsky.com, or stop by any of their convenient locations in Adair County, Greene County, Campbellsville, or Russell Springs. John, anything you want to add as far as statewide right now?
Last time, last update I gave was 68%, so we're now up to 71. I know it's not a lot of more precincts, but a few more precincts. The margin is 46,000 in favor of Beshear for the governor's race. Looks like the Republicans are holding serve in Attorney General, Secretary of State, Auditor of Public Accounts, and State Treasurer, as they're in firm control of those. Again, not official, nothing's official yet, but just trying to look at some trends from what I can detect. And South Central is not in, of course, with the time change, and West is also not in. The only western county we have is Hopkins. Let's look at it. Hopkins, looks like Daniel Cameron carried Hopkins County 6,900 votes to 5,762. So that goes against my theory of Beshear holding serve West, as Hopkins County goes to Daniel Cameron. Let's see if we got any other. Logan County, Daniel Cameron wins Logan County 2,000 votes to 1,400. So, Austin, you made an interesting analogy as if Cameron can really be strong in some of these bigger western Kentucky counties, this thing could get really tight. We still got a long way to go.
Yeah, still got a long way to go, no doubt about it. But I think we are seeing. We're seeing Daniel Cameron's maybe what his thought process was when it was campaigning, and I think that might be the direction that he's gone. Maybe trying to win the western side of the state, pulling some of those away from Andy Beshear, because like we said beforehand, Andy Beshear was able to pull off the win mostly because of a lot of the larger counties, even though he lost a majority to a sea of red throughout the smaller counties. But those large counties, they mean so much, and he was also able to kind of push over that speed bump with those western counties. So it makes you wonder that Daniel Cameron, was that his kind of thought process going into the campaigning? Hey, let's see if I can pull some of these votes away from Andy Beshear in the western side of the state and not even worry about the bigger counties up in the north and the northeast, and just try to really focus on the smaller counties in the western side of the state. Very interesting to see. We will. I'm kind of interested to see how this one plays out, John, and we still got a long way to go.
Also, Boyle and Mercer, no precincts reported at Boyle and Mercer, and looking at neighboring county Jessamine, Daniel Cameron wins that county by 1,000 votes. Looks like Garrett County. Daniel Cameron wins Garrett County by 1,400 votes. So there's two counties that you would think would swing toward Cameron. Spencer County, Shelby's in, Spencer's not in. Daniel Cameron carries Shelby County 8,751 votes to 7,946. So you would think Spencer would follow that same pattern. Bullitt not reporting, so there you go. Austin, things could really tighten up. There's a long way to go in this thing.
No doubt about it, a long way to go, and we'll be along with you every step of the way here on your home for Hot Country 93.5 WAIN. When we come back, we'll have another update of the 2023 Kentucky General Election right here on WAIN.
This is Nick Fudge with United Citizens Bank. Whether it's your first loan or you've been banking for years, we are ready to be your bank. At UCB, we like to keep banking simple. We probably aren't the best at flashy ad campaigns or sales pitches, but we will always give you our best and stand behind our word. Stop by and see me at our Jamestown Street office, or any of us at our other convenient locations. We want to be your bank, United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
WAIN regularly conducts contests and giveaways on air. Please be advised of the following rules. No purchase necessary. Contests are open to all persons except for broadcasting and their affiliated radio stations, Fork employees and their immediate families. Event sponsors, prize providers, or advertisers and their respective immediate families are not eligible to win. Participants can only win one contest prize per person every 30 days. For prizes valued at over $150, only one prize per household every 90 days. Winners must appear in person with proper positive legal identification to claim any prize Monday through Friday, excluding holidays within 30 days, so the prize will be forfeited. Prizes will not be mailed or delivered. Any winner under the age of 18 must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. No trade or cash equivalent will be awarded for any contest prize. Any person or persons found to be in violation of these contest rules before, during, or after the respective contest or giveaway will be disqualified and will not be eligible for future contests and giveaways.
For 40 years, Make-A-Wish Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana has been granting life-changing wishes for kids in our community. Wishes can be the turning point for a child in their fight against a critical illness, helping them replace fear with confidence, sadness with joy, and anxiety with hope. These life-changing wishes wouldn't be possible without shining stars like you. Be a light of hope for Central Kentucky kids with critical illnesses by donating $40 now. Learn more at oki.wish.org/40.
I had an important job, and it wasn't just a job, it was keeping my brothers and sisters safe. And coming back, it felt like kind of thrown away. It's like you're useless. You know, we don't really have a need for you now because you can't really do anything for us. That's the way I felt. If it hadn't been for Wounded Warrior Project, I honestly don't know if I would be here. It was the camaraderie that I saw and had. It was like, I got my family back again. We all felt the connection, you know, like that brother and sisterhood.
See how Wounded Warrior Project empowers women veterans like Donna by visiting woundedwarriorproject.org/empowerwomenvets.
So on behalf of myself and all the Opry members of past and present and future, Luke Combs, you are now officially the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry.
Being inducted into the Opry by Joe Diffie and Vince Gill, two artists I grew up listening to, was one of the highlights of my life. Every time I'm on the Opry, I share the stage with my heroes and play the music that I love. There's nothing else like it, whether you're behind that microphone or out in the crowd. On any given night, you could see a once-in-a-lifetime performance or watch an artist get a surprise invitation to join the greatest family in country music. Even if you've seen the Opry once, you haven't seen it all. It's a blast, not just for fans, but for artists too.
You're listening to Hot Country 93.5 during the McKinney in the Morning Show for Opry Brain Teaser Clues and your chance to win tickets to the Opry. Brought to you by J&S Auto Sales.
I'm Luke Combs, and I'll see you soon at the Opry, the show that made country music famous.
Give it to Henry. Looking for some room fights at 10, 5, end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, touchdown Titans! He is the baddest man in the NFL, and he just took her to the house. Goes into the end zone. Touchdown Titans!
Tennessee Titans football on CBS Sports Radio, 101.9 FM and 1270 AM. WAIN regularly conducts contests and giveaways on air. Please be advised of the following rules. No purchase necessary. Contests are open to all persons except for broadcasting and their affiliated radio stations, Fork employees and their immediate families. Event sponsors, prize providers, or advertisers and their respective immediate families are not eligible to win. Participants can only win one contest prize per person every 30 days. For prizes valued at over $150, only one prize per household every 90 days. Winners must appear in person with proper positive legal identification. Claim any prize Monday through Friday, excluding holidays within 30 days, so the prize will be forfeited. Prizes will not be mailed or delivered. Any winner under the age of 18 must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. No trade or cash equivalent will be awarded for any contest prize. Any person or persons found to be in violation of these contest rules before, during, or after the respective contest or giveaway will be disqualified and will not be eligible for future contests and giveaways.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at 2 major universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he was having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he was telling them that he was doing it as a favor to them, but I think in reality, he just wanted to get out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something was wrong.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me, and my love for him was just immense.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Accurate, up-to-date weather forecasts with current temperatures from trained weatherology meteorologists. We've got you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, only on WAIN.
55 overnight under partly cloudy skies. Winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, high of 81. 62 tomorrow night, slight chance for scattered showers. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 60.
Welcome back to 93.5 WAIN, your home for the 2023 Kentucky General Election coverage, brought to you by your friends at United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky. Be sure to check out their website, ucbsky.com, or stop by any one of their convenient locations in Greene County, Campbellsville, or Russell Springs. We have no more local numbers to update you with, but plenty of statewide stuff to update you with alongside John Shelley. John, how are you this evening?
Doing great. Appreciate it, and I appreciate UCB and they're sponsoring our coverage, and also appreciate all our listeners. I know a lot of listeners in Adair and surrounding counties like to get the local numbers for sure. Austin's been providing our local numbers as they trickle in from our 16 precincts here in Adair County. I got an update for you. Statewide numbers, 76% of precincts reporting, and right now, Andy Bashir with a 53% to 47% lead on Daniel Cameron. In terms of number of votes, it's 477,131 to 416,590. That is his lead. Looks like the Republicans are rolling in these other elections. Attorney General Russell Coleman, 57% to 43% for Pam Stevenson, the Democrat. Michael Adams, the Republican, 60% of the vote to Charles Buddy Wheatley, the Democrat, with 40% of the vote. Auditor of Public Accounts, Allison Ball, 60% of the vote. Kim Reeder with 40% of the vote. And looks like for state treasurer, Republicans are rolling there. Mark Metcalf, 57% of the vote to the Democrat. Michael Bowman's 43%. And in the Commissioner of Agriculture, Jonathan Schell with a commanding lead, 59% over the Democrat. Sierra Enlow, 41%. So Austin, it looks like right now the the Republicans have a comfortable lead in those other races, except the governor's race, where Beshear leads that one 53% of the vote to 47%. And I'm looking at Metcalfe County now has reported. So just looking at Metcalfe County, we know what's going to happen in these areas. Actually, Metcalfe County, Cameron, 1,788 votes to Beshear's 1,242. So the difference there, not as much as I thought it would be, compared to the numbers that have trickled in for Adair County, which are strong favoring the Republicans.
Yeah, and one thing that we do want to kind of talk about, and I'm kind of shocked to see, is Andy Beshear leading a lot of those counties that are southeast from Lexington area, really pulling heavy in the eastern part of the state is Andy Beshear, and honestly would say that's probably why he has that lead right now. Not a large lead, so 52%, 53% to that 47% Andy Beshear leading. But as we talked about earlier, on the Republican side, on the ballot, pretty much winning every race so far. And we do have a conclusion of a couple races so far. Michael Adams has won the Secretary of State. 71% of the votes are in. He has won 61% of those votes, so that is enough to declare that one over. That's 608,000 votes that he has received over Charles Wheatley's 391,000. So Michael Adams is the Secretary of State. That one is over. And the auditor, that is the Auditor of Public Accounts, going to be replacing Mike Harmon. That is going to be Allison Ball for the Republican Party, as she wins it with a 61% win over the Democratic candidate, that being Kimberly Reeder at 39%. 72% of those votes are in, so that one is well over at this point and is declared over, as Allison Ball will be the new Auditor of Public Accounts for the state of Kentucky. So we do have a conclusion of the Secretary of State and the auditors so far, but gotta say, in the other side, on the governor's race, I think we're going to be here for a couple more breaks, because I think it's going to come down to the last few counties kind of turning in. Right now, I'm at 73% of the votes, pretty much still the same number, set 53%, going against the 47%, Andy Beshear leading that. The last update we had for local numbers in Adair County showed the complete opposite. Daniel Cameron basically running rampant with the votes here in Adair County, and we'll have a total of that coming up a little bit later. But right now, statewide, Andy Beshear leading. We also have Russell Coleman, the Attorney General, who is leading for the Republican side on the Secretary of State. That race is over, as Michael Adams receives the win for the Republican Party at 61.2% of the votes received. Agricultural Commissioner Shell leading that one right now over Enlow, 60 to 40%. That one probably going to be over pretty soon, as well, as 72% of the votes are in. So I'd imagine once Shell receives about 3 or 4 more % of those votes, it will be over. The auditor side, Ball going to win the Republican Party for them, and the Auditor of Public Accounts, 61% to 39% for Kimberly Reeder. And again, that treasurer spot, Metcalfe at 58%, Bowman at 42%. So that right there is probably the closest race out of all the other ones, excluding the governor's, that state treasurer race as well.
Austin, this thing could really get interesting, because now Trigg County's in. Trigg is west. Trigg goes 1,000 votes in favor of Cameron.
Wow.
Neighboring county, Lyon County. Again, not many votes. That's the catch. You're looking at 1,600 for Cameron, 1,200 for Beshear. In the big scheme of things, it's hard to make up 47,000 votes, but I would have anticipated that Andy Beshear, being from West Kentucky, would have held sway there, and it hadn't worked that way. A lot of South Central not in. Hart not in, Barron not in, Monroe. We already know the numbers are heavily in favor of Cameron for Adair, so you would expect Russell to go the same way. So it's not over. So we want to say that for the governor's race. Let's go back up and see if any more precincts have reported. As I'm updating my screen here, looks like 2,819 precincts have reported out of 3,615, and it's still about, 54,000 is the lead right now for Andy Beshear. 54,000. Going to be tough for Cameron in these counties down here, Austin, where you've got a couple thousand votes, because you got to win 20 of those. And the way the bordering counties look, he could make up some serious ground, but will it be enough? And we'll stay here for a little while till we kind of. I don't really want to declare it, but we'll stay here and we'll kind of do put our math, our figures to it, and kind of see how it's working out. But right now, 53% of the vote to Beshear, 47% to Cameron, and it looks like the Republicans are comfortably leading the Attorney General, Secretary of State, Auditor of Public Accounts, State Treasurer, Commissioner of Agriculture, safely leading those races.
And we did just have another update for some local numbers, and again, a huge thank you going out to Sharon Burton for providing those in the community voice. We've had some cell phone issues down in the basement. It's not the easiest to get text messages out of. Jared was not able to get some text messages out, so Sharon's kind of helping us. So we're kind of teaming up together to take this out. So a huge thank you going out to them. The latest update from the precinct in North Columbia, and if I'm right, we're waiting on, I think, one, maybe two more precincts, and then we should be wrapped up for Adair County. For the North Columbia precinct, for the governor race, for Daniel Cameron receiving 240 votes, Andy Beshear receiving 148 votes. For the Secretary of State race, Michael Adams receiving 289 votes, Charles Wheatley receiving 87 votes. For the Attorney General race, Russell Coleman receiving 282 votes, Pamela Stevenson receiving 93 votes. Auditor of Public Accounts race, Allison Ball receiving 296 votes, Kimberly Reeder receiving 77 votes. The State Treasurer race, Mark Metcalf receiving 277 votes, Michael Bowman receiving 96 votes. The Commissioner of Agricultural race, Jonathan Schell receiving 291 votes, Sierra Enlow receiving 84 votes. So again, from the North Columbia precinct and all the numbers that we have received from the precinct throughout Adair County, heavily leaning towards the Republican side. So that means Daniel Cameron for the governor's race. That is Michael Adams for the Secretary of State, Russell Coleman for the Attorney General, Allison Ball for the Auditor of Public Accounts, Mark Metcalf for the State Treasurer, and Jonathan Schell for the Commissioner of Agriculture. And that is just numbers from Adair County. And again, we should have about one or two more precincts left, and then that should be the final numbers for Adair County. But still plenty of time to go, still plenty of race to go. And even though Andy is up by that amount, there's still lots left on the table for Daniel Cameron to grab and chew up, basically.
Yeah, we're looking at a far East Kentucky county, Pike County, have no numbers there. We still got Mercer, Boyle, Franklin County. Be a lot of votes in Franklin County. Nelson County, still no numbers. The site I'm looking at, we have no numbers from Hart, Barron, Monroe, Cumberland, Adair, and Russell, and you feel like they will go Cameron.
Yeah.
We already know Adair's went Cameron.
Yeah.
Far West, I've been a little bit surprised by some of these numbers with Andy being from West Kentucky. Daniel Cameron has won Trigg County, Lyon County, Hopkins County. So some of these West counties that have reported, still some big counties that haven't reported. Christian County is a huge county. As far as voters, hasn't reported. So still up in the air. This governor's race, 53% to 47% right now, with about looks like 75% of the precincts reporting.
Fantastic. And again, we do want to say a huge thank you going out to our sponsors tonight of the 2023 Kentucky General Election. That is United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky. Be sure to visit their website, ucbsky.com, or stop by any of their locations in Adair, Greene, Campbellsville, or Russell Springs. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the next update for you. I'm Austin Armstrong on 93.5 WAIN.
Hey, it's Carson. I hope that we get to spend the work days together every weekday from 9 until 2. It's Country with Carson on Hot Country 93.5. We're talking about what's trending, what's going on with you, and don't be surprised when your favorite country stars drop on by. You can reach me anytime through Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. It's Carson on Air. Also, hit me up at 800-667-8686. It's Country with Carson, weekdays from 9 until 2 on Hot Country 93.5.
So on behalf of myself and all the Opry members of past and present and future, Luke Combs, you are now officially the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry.
Being inducted into the Opry by Joe Diffie and Vince Gill, two artists I grew up listening to, was one of the highlights of my life. Every time I'm on the Opry, I share the stage with my heroes and play the music that I love. There's nothing else like it, whether you're behind that microphone or out in the crowd. On any given night, you could see a once-in-a-lifetime performance or watch an artist get a surprise invitation to join the greatest family in country music. Even if you've seen the Opry once, you haven't seen it all. It's a blast, not just for fans, but for artists too.
Be listening to Hot Country 93.5 during the McKinney in the Morning Show for Opry Rain T-shirt clues and your chance to win tickets to the Opry. Brought to you by J&S Auto Sales.
I'm Luke Combs, and I'll see you soon at the Opry, the show that made country music famous.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working. Who, me? Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
United Citizens Bank.
This is Matt Loy with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Let's talk about America. Not taxes or tweets or the issues that divide us, but how incredible our country is. Left, right, up, down, state lines to winding coastlines. Whether you come home to a crowded city street, tree-lined suburb, or sleepy small town, everyone deserves to live in a clean, green, and thriving community. And we all share in the responsibility to create beauty that ripples from one neighborhood to another and one block to the next. We are Keep America Beautiful, the nonprofit working with millions of people just like you to end littering, improve recycling, and beautify our communities. Because every mindful action and sustainable habit has a positive impact, and it all adds up. Learn how you can join Keep America Beautiful at KAB.org. Together, we can do beautiful things.
WAIN regularly conducts contests and giveaways on air. Please be advised of the following rules. No purchase necessary. Contests are open to all persons except Fork Broadcasting and their affiliated radio stations, Fork employees and their immediate families. Event sponsors, prize providers, or advertisers and their respective immediate families are not eligible to win. Participants can only win one contest prize per person every 30 days. For prizes valued at over $150, only one prize per household every 90 days. Winners must appear in person with proper positive legal identification. Claim any prize Monday through Friday, excluding holidays within 30 days, so the prize will be forfeited. Prizes will not be mailed or delivered. Any winner under the age of 18 must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. No trade or cash equivalent will be awarded for any contest prize. Any person or persons found to be in violation of these contest rules before, during, or after the respective contest or giveaway will be disqualified and will not be eligible for future contests and giveaways.
Precise, up-to-the-minute weather forecasts with current temperatures by trained weatherology meteorologists. That's what you get 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WAIN.
55 overnight under partly cloudy skies. Winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, high of 81. 62 tomorrow night, slight chance for scattered showers. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 58.
Welcome back to the coverage of the 2023 Kentucky General Election, brought to you by United Citizens Bank here on High Country 93.5 WAIN. Austin Armstrong alongside John Shelley bringing you the updated coverage of the 2023 Kentucky General Election, again brought to you by the wonderful folks at United Citizens Bank. Be sure to check out their website, ucbsky.com, or stop by any one of their convenient locations in Adair County, Greene County, Campbellsville, or Russell Springs. Unfortunately, we are waiting on the totals for the Adair County precincts. Something is not adding up in that direction, so they're going to get that figured out, and we will bring you the latest numbers as soon as they get that sorted out over there. John, a little bit of an update statewide. Looks like Andy Beshear cracked it open.
3,012 precincts reporting out of 3,615. That's about 83% of the precincts are in. We've heard nothing from Adair County. They're blank on the screen, so I don't know. Of course, I know Central Time Zone has something to do with that, but all the counties around are in. Greene is in, Taylor's in, Metcalfe, Monroe, Clinton. So I'm sure just any minute we'll be getting the numbers, the final numbers from Adair County. But it looks like the overall state margin has increased a little bit for Beshear. He's increased his lead to 78,000 votes. That thing hovered around 40 to 50,000 with 50 to 75% of the precincts reporting. It's now to 80,000 in Austin. I don't know, if there's still some big counties though. Warren County is still blank. There's no precincts reporting. Warren is a huge county. Nelson is a huge county. Nothing from Nelson County. Christian County, a large county. Nothing. Pike County, far eastern Kentucky. And then, of course, Cumberland, Adair, and Russell, nothing from either of those three counties. And far west, nothing from McCracken, Ballard, Carlisle. So 83% of the precincts reporting, about an 80,000 vote lead for Beshear. Actually, it's about 76,000, let me be more specific, lead right now. And then the Republicans look like are comfortably leading. Austin, I think you've even called a couple of those races in the other races. So big night for the Republicans, except the big prize looks, it's not official. We're not saying it's official. There's still a lot of votes left out there, but Beshear's increased that lead from 50,000 to 76. But again, you take a county like, for example, Warren County, just to give you an idea, Jefferson County had 221,000 votes. Fayette County, which you can compare a little bit to a Fayette and Warren. Let me find it here. appreciate Austin providing this website. It's really nice. There was 103,000 voters in Fayette County. So Warren County, I'm not exactly sure how the turnout went, but that's one county that has not reported. So still not official. Austin has been a good race. And let's see if we've got any new numbers here.
We do have some new numbers for Adair County. Looks like we have the final unofficial results for Adair County. This is 17 of 17 precincts or polling places reporting, and 5,309 ballots casted is what they have at the top. For the governor race, it looks like Daniel Cameron will lead that one and win Adair County at 3,597 votes compared to the 1,688 votes for Andy Beshear at 68% versus the 31% against Beshear. So Daniel Cameron walking away with the win for Adair County. So that might play out to his benefit. And it's a good margin, too, as well, that it's almost 2,000 votes that he ends up winning by here in Adair County. And we kind of mentioned that here in the South Central pocket, he has a chance to really build on a lot of these small counties. But what he's going to have to do is make sure that those counties that he wins are really big gaps. It can't be 1,600 votes versus 1,800 votes. It has to be what he sees here in Adair County, 1,600 votes versus 3,600 votes. So that way he goes up 2,000 votes. But it's still a lot to ask is a thing.
And I'm not speaking for Russell County because we have nobody no precincts reporting in Russell. But you would think Russell would follow a similar pattern.
Yeah.
But will these 3,000 vote wins carry him over an 80,000 deficit with, still far west to go? Austin, go ahead.
And it looks like right now with 80% of the votes in, that is more than enough. That's 1.1 million votes that have been casted, and it does not matter. Andy Beshear is the winner of that governor race at 53.3% against Daniel Cameron's 46.7% at the 80% of the votes have been turned in. So mathematically speaking, he has won the race. These are unofficial results, by the way. We do want to mention that. There's a lot of things that happen throughout the night, some numbers that kind of get turned around here and there, maybe some mistakes that get corrected along the way, but officially speaking right now, with 80% of the votes turned in, that's 1,148,101 votes total. Andy Beshear going to walk away with the win in that governor race, winning 53.3% of those votes. So that is going to conclude the governor race unofficially here on WAIN. The Attorney General race just wrapped up, as well as Russell Coleman walks away with the win, 57% of the votes versus Pamela Stevenson's 42% of the votes. Secretary of State wraps up as we look at that as well. Michael Adams going to pull off the win for the Republican Party, 60% of the votes versus Charles Wheatley's 39% of the votes, 40% of the votes. So Michael Adams going to walk away with the win for the Republican Party on the Secretary of State. Other races that we have, Agricultural Commissioner, that's the Commissioner of Agriculture. Republican Party going to walk away with the win on that. Jonathan Schell receiving 59% of the votes versus Sierra Enlow's 41%. The Auditor of Public Accounts, that one is going to go to the Republican Party. That is Allison Ball receiving 60% of the votes to Kimberly Reeder's 40% of the vote. So right now, the only race that has not been decided as far as total votes casted is the treasurer race, Metcalf versus Bowman for the Democratic Party. Metcalf with the Republican Party, 57. And as I say that, it closes immediately. Metcalf now walks away with the win for the Republican Party for the treasurer spot. So that means for the race throughout the state of Kentucky, very Republican heavy, as we now have Russell Coleman for the Republican Party at the Attorney General spot. Also has Secretary of State Michael Adams from the Republican spot. The other races all won by the Republicans, Schell, Ball, and Metcalf for the Commissioner, Auditor, and Treasurer. And then, of course, Andy Beshear pulling off the win for the governor race at 53.2% versus Daniel Cameron's 46.8% with 82% of the votes turned in. So close race. Well, what we thought was going to be a closer race. It looks like Andy Bashir is going to pull out the win on this one. John, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I mean, we 53% to 47%, 581,000. My screen showing to 508. I mean, it was a good race, a tight race, and that's not all precincts reporting, but an actuarial analysis says that he can't get enough to make a comeback. So I think the state has already declared whatever you were reading from Austin. And we want to thank Sharon too, Community Voice, for providing our numbers for us, our local numbers. And Austin, do we want to share that site that people can look at?
Yeah, the website that we use. John, if you want to give them the times or the website that you use.
It's V as in victory, vrsws.sos.ky.gov. Again, that's vrsws.sos.ky.gov. It's a statewide reporting. It shows all the numbers. Of course, the media will have all the numbers tomorrow in the either local papers, the statewide papers, digital media sources will have those numbers. But that's what I'm looking at. A big night for the Republicans, really. They really ran well across the state, but they didn't get the big prize, the governor's race. Is Bashir looks like on my screen is leading that one by about 70,000 votes. So
that's going to do it for us tonight. Andy Bashir going to walk away with the win for the Democratic Party. The Republican side going to sweep the rest of the ballot, though. That it's going to include the Secretary of State position, Attorney General position, Auditor of Public Accounts position, State Treasurer position, and Commissioner of Agricultural position. And like we said, that Governor and Lieutenant Governor going to go back to Andy Bashir. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to all of the participants that participated today, all the candidates. They did fantastic. And that's going to do it for us, John. That's it for us. Now we just got to wrap it up. So
appreciate it, Austin. Appreciate it.
The real question is, what are we going to go have for supper?
We can't get off the air talking about a little snack. And
Zaxby's open this late?
I'll figure out something.
Yeah.
I always have a plan.
Yeah.
After eating. I always have a plan.
Maybe I just
even a backup plan.
Yeah. Maybe I just need to follow you around tonight. Then I'll just follow you around. That's going to do it for us tonight here on 93.5. Andy Bashir walking away with the win for that governor and lieutenant governor position. A huge thank you going out to United Citizens Bank of Southern Kentucky for sponsoring the 2023 Kentucky general election. You can find the full coverage of the election, all the notes on it with Josh McKinney tomorrow morning for McKinney in the Morning at the 5 o'clock news, 6 o'clock news, and 7 o'clock news here in McKinney in the Morning. We appreciate you all. Hope everybody has a fantastic rest of the day. For John Shelley, Jared Turner back at the Annex Building, myself, Austin Armstrong, have a great night. That's going to conclude it for the 2023 Kentucky general election here on 93.5 WAIN. Good night, everyone.